Hello and welcome. We're so glad to have you here with us today for the BIM Manager Community Virtual Meetup. I see a lot of you have already started letting me know where in the world you're from. I love to see that global audience. I'm going to just start to share where a few people are calling in from. Carlos is coming in from Chicago. Good morning, Carlos. And I apologize if I say it wrong, but I think it's Roshan is coming in from South Africa. So good evening to you. And Natish is coming in from the state of, I'm really bad with these names, these overseas names, Maharashtra, sorry. David is coming in from Upper Darby in Pennsylvania. Excellent, welcome. Derek from Oregon, nice to have you. Rosario is from Michigan. Horatio is coming in from Mexico. Wilberto is coming in from Houston. Excellent. Oh, we do have someone from Qatar. I did spend a little time in Saudi Arabia. I didn't pick up much of the language though. Okay. I like this one. So Dr. Bimologist is saying good morning. I'd be interested to know your real name. All right. Well, I'm going to give everyone just another minute or so to log in. Again, it's very nice to have you all here. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to have a conversation with our product manager for Navisworks. And so Zach Crumal is with us. I also have Robert Adam with us from my team. And we're going to be giving you an opportunity to, ask a lot of questions. So the more interactive you are today, the more you will gain from this. So that's a big thing with our meetups is we definitely want you to interact, ask those questions, and ask the hard ones. If we don't have the answers right now, we will definitely try to get those to you. So I'm glad to have all of you on board. All right, what time are we looking at here? Oh, 3 minutes after. So we'll give everyone just another minute. I just see the numbers rising just a little. So I'm glad, again, everyone is here with us. Whoops. There we go. Before we begin, just a quick little safe harbor statement. Because we are talking with our product manager for Navisworks, I want to make sure that you know that anything that is discussed here is not a promise that it will be in the software, but just giving some ideas of what you might be looking at, and more so, I want to hear from you. What are you looking for? What is really causing you pain as you do your work so that we can try to solve those problems with you? Okay. As many of you know that have come to these before, your lines are muted just to reduce the background noise. Again, we do encourage you to ask your questions. So use that Q&A panel or raise your hand in the participants panel, and I will unmute your line when we have an opening in the conversation to do that. And a link to the recording will be sent to you via email after the session. So you can be watching for that, but that's why we mute the lines. It's just so we have a nice clean recording so that you can watch it later or share it with your coworkers if you find it's something that will be very beneficial for them as well. So again, today's presenters, I'm Michelle Rasmussen. Many of you know me from these monthly meetups, and I am the AEC Content Manager for the Customer Success organization on the learning services side. So not content that goes into the software, but learning content to help you do your job better and more efficiently. So I also have Robert Adam on the line with us. He is the program manager for Autodesk Customer Success. Robert, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Robert, dialing in from Montreal, Canada, where spring finally came. I've been with Autodesk for going on 13 years now. As Michelle said, I'm a program manager in our Autodesk Customer Success organization, and I manage the Customer Success Learning Hub at customersuccess.autodesk.com. which will be part of our conversation a little bit later. It's our learning platform, and I will lead an exercise toward the end of this presentation on getting input from you guys on what learning we could add to the hub to make it more useful to you.
Yeah, thank you. And Zach Crumal is our product manager for Navisworks and other products in the construction arena. So Zach, do you mind telling everyone a little bit about you?
Yeah, Zach Crumal, based out of Portland, Oregon. I've been with Autodesk for just about 7 years, and am product manager for Navisworks and the layout products and some integrations that we're doing with BIM 360 that I'm excited to share with you guys about.
All right, excellent, excellent. And so let's have a little conversation. So again, this is our monthly meetup for BIM managers. We have several meetups that are available for you depending on your needs. And so if you fall more in the building engineering side of things, we do have a building engineering meetup that happens on the fourth Thursday. If you fall more in the mechanical side, we do have mechanical meetups, and as well as architect and civil engineering. So definitely take a look at those. I've put the new link to our meetup page. It's one page where you can go and sign up for any one or all of those meetups that makes sense for you to join. Like Robert was saying, we'll have a little bit of a discussion today about our connected learning. Before I jump into that, Zach, do you want to jump in and talk a little bit about Navisworks and what you're working on?
Absolutely. No problem.
So what I understand, there's not a ton new just yet in Navisworks. And do you want to share your screen, by the way, or do you want to just have a conversation?
I can share my screen.
Okay. Let me make sure you can do that then. Okay, now you should be able to share.
And let me know. You should be able to see my screen here.
Yep, I am seeing it.
All right, so we'll cover the base features, and then we'll get into what's new. And really, when we talk about what's new with Navisworks, the core functionality of Navisworks is the same. Navisworks, you've been using day in and day out for quite some time. It's been around since 1999. If you have wondered how long Navisworks has been around, it just hit its 20th year, which is pretty amazing. 65 file formats are supported, 65 plus. This is made for multidisciplinary project review, clash detection, and a holistic review of your construction models throughout the construction process. We are the industry standard. Navisworks, when you look at coordination across the world, this is the most widely adopted used software for coordination projects. And I think another main bullet point on there that's of importance is there are thousands of third-party integrations within Navisworks, including integrations that many of our customers have made themselves. Some of you that are on this call, I've talked to that have developed custom integrations within Navisworks that are simply amazing. Some of the key features, I'm just going to quickly go through these. Clash detection. This is the bread and butter of Navisworks, our most widely used feature within Navisworks by far. And we'll talk about how we have some overlapping workflows with BIM 360 model coordination. Aggregation and bringing in multiple different file formats is the key workflow within Navisworks outside of clash detection. You still need to get everything in the right spot, including point cloud scans, and all of your different file types, including civil file types. Timeliner, a very popular workflow for sequencing your model in 4D, as well as building in some future workflows. And integrated quantity takeoff. So this is quantities both in 2D and 3D. So whether you're looking at DWF files or non-native DWF files like PDFs, you can take off areas, lines, counts of both 3D models and 2D documents as well. There is BIM 360 glue integrations. We will probably quickly go through this because I want to talk about what's new. This is the hot topic that most of the discussion will be focused around, is what is coming. The base functionality, like we discussed, it hasn't changed and really doesn't change. But what we're looking at is building in high value integrations within BIM 360. The first one that we integrated and developed was the BIM 360 issues integration for Navisworks. I'm not going to be able to play this. It just gave me a sorry, there's unstable warning. This is available on the Autodesk App Store currently. It has thousands of downloads. It's a great workflow for connecting issues created in BIM 360 and viewing those in Navisworks, as well as creating issues in Navisworks and pushing those to BIM 360. It zooms into the issue in the model, allows you to respond and navigate that issue, and then as well as create those issues and send those out to your project team. So this has been around since, I want to say, August of last year. So if you aren't aware of this, this is one of the most recent additions to the Navisworks world. There's a effort going on behind the scenes, and we can discuss this. I know this will be brought up in several questions. IFC work and DGN workflows. We are dedicating a team to IFC workflows and improving the performance and support of IFC files. So this doesn't reflect some of the updates that I'm talking about, but there is another effort going on where we're going to invest heavily into IFC, both from a Navisworks perspective as well as for BIM 360. So that is a very big deal. It's important for many of our customers. This is a publish to assemble workflow that you may or may not have been aware of. Users can publish their Revit, AutoCAD models, other authoring tools as well, directly to Navisworks, perform clash and coordination, and then publish that directly to assemble, where you can use that for work packaging, quantities, workflows, scheduling, and some other assemble downstream workflows. So the last bit that we're going to touch on is currently in development. We are hoping to release this as an update to the Autodesk App Store very soon. So currently we have the BIM 360 issues plugin on the App Store that we just discussed. This would be replacing that plugin and adding additional functionality. So I do want to talk about the 3 key focus areas for Navisworks, and then we'll get into the next integration that we're currently working on. So keeping Navisworks up to date is our #1 goal. Whether it's working with the latest and greatest file formats and different file data types, keeping that up to date is our #1 focus, as well as including enhanced support for IFC. That is a very important aspect of what we're focused on right now. Performance, support of the data as well in IFC is a key focus for us. Quality, we don't talk about it enough, and I think it needs to be called out. Navisworks, we're investing in. The team we're investing in. There's been several updates to Navisworks, both for 2019 and 2020, and we'll continue to do the same for Navisworks 2021. If there's bugs or significant regressions, please let us know. We're fixing them. If something doesn't feel right or wasn't working the same this year as it was last year, we need to know these things, and we are fixing them. So we will continue to have updates, and please let us know. And integrations, this is what we're currently working on heavily, connecting Autodesk cloud solutions like BIM 360, as well as other Autodesk desktop solutions and complementary workflows to Navisworks. So this is our key focus area that we're going to get into, and I'm actually going to open up Navisworks here in a second, and we'll give you a little teaser of what we're currently working on. But this allows users to accelerate constructability reviews and let multidisciplinary teams quickly identify and resolve costly issues independent of Navisworks. So what we're talking about here is BIM 360 model coordination. As users upload models directly to Docs, BIM 360, they're automatically clashed within BIM 360 model coordination. That is a fantastic workflow. This also allows users to be part of the coordination process that might have not been part of the coordination process before. So they can go into model coordination, go through issue workflows, look at the models, look at the clashes as well. And what we're now enabling users to do is take that data, BIM 360 model hosted data, and open that directly within Navisworks. So this is essentially replacing some of the glue workflows that you're accustomed to using in Navisworks with some new functionality. So we'll jump into it right now. Let me know when you can see Navisworks. Can you give me a heads up you can see it here?
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Awesome. Okay, so currently on the BIM 360 Issues plugin, it's called BIM 360 Issues when you install it. This is our current beta, so there is some changes for the terminology, but the general workflows are the same. So I am just going to open up a test project just to kind of show you the current functionality of the Issues plugin, and then we'll jump into some of the new beta functionality that's coming. So I'm just going to open up a model via desktop connector, and so this is via NWD files. So you will have to publish an NWD to your BIM 360 project file space for this to work. And there's more information on the Autodesk App Store for how this works, including a help file as well. And there's a help if you need more questions on how this works. So I actually created some of these before here, but this is an issue I actually created in Navisworks. So I'm actually going to hit the Create Issue button and drop an issue down, and I want to send that out to my project team for review. So for example, I'm going to hit Create Issue. I'm going to verify our concrete, just for example. I'm going to have myself review this by Friday and drop that issue down. Very simple, easy to do process. This issue now can be directly synced to our BIM 360 project and viewable within BIM 360. As vice versa, and I'm not going to probably have time to go through each of these workflows, but if you had an issue created in BIM 360 and you wanted to view it in Navisworks, it'll also give you that same view perspective and screenshot perspective of what was created in BIM 360 and Navisworks and vice versa. So you're never trying to navigate and figure out where that issue is. It will give you that direct screenshot, which is great. From here, you can close this issue, respond to it, change comments, or create more issues. So this has been around for, like I said, almost a year now, but we're adding some very powerful workflows for now bringing in the model data as well from BIM 360. So I'm going to show you the coordination space button, and we'll get into this workflow. And this is currently going under a lot of product review and testing with many of our customers, including some on this call. So we'll go over this quickly here, but the general workflow is a user is able to select a coordination space for model coordination and open all models that are in that project, as well as open any views that are created in model coordination. Terminology may change. Some of this workflows will change based on our feedback and testing right now. But let's go through a couple examples here. For example, I'm going to open up a coordination space called Complete Merged Model. Coordination spaces, you can create any number of coordination spaces and slice these and dice these any way that you need to. But what these are mapped to a folder in Docs. These could be a parent folder or a subfolder, and you can break this out by trade, break this out by level, I've kind of shown a bunch of different examples here. You can create an electrical WIP folder, level 1 all coordination, maybe a level 2 electrical coordination folder. So it's really mapping a folder to a trade or a specific coordination area. You can also create a shared folder or a complete merged folder where that will allow users to see all models that are uploaded to a shared space. So I'm gonna, in this example, actually just hit open all, and this is gonna open all models that are in that coordination space. So there maybe is a caveat I would give users. If there's 600 models in here, you would be opening up 600 models. So we're working on views. I think views is a central concept to breaking this out by object or a specific group of objects, or by a specific group of models. But what I'm doing right now is currently opening up all 4 of those Revit models that are hosted in BIM 360. And now those Revit models are within Navisworks. So if I actually click on one of these issues, I'm gonna hide this architectural model. This was actually an issue created in BIM 360 in model coordination. There's quite a few updates that will be coming to these workflows as well, including clash highlighting and some clash relationship workflows for the for both of the products. But this is what we are currently looking at integrating and releasing here very soon. So this is allowing you to bring within Navisworks automatically clashed data. These models have been through coordination reviews. These have been updated several times by many different parties on your project. And so now we're bringing in data that's not just Revit models. These have been updated and gone through coordination, or have been through clash detection, automatic clash detection and model coordination as well. So these are enabling new workflows that aren't available right now. I think a key central workflow I do want to talk about real quick is saving this as an NWF file. So you're very familiar with NWFs in Navisworks. It's what you work on every day. I'm going to open up a project and save this out just for, I'm just going to call this our May demo, and save this out to BIM 360. So what this is, and I'm going to open this project files and hit save. And so this NWF is now available to other project team members. And this is always going to pull the latest models from model coordination as well. So this isn't just linking the Revit models for this NWF. It's going to be the latest and greatest from those coordination spaces as well. Tons to go through. That's the fastest I've ever ran through that in 5 minutes. We can spend plenty of time, answer questions, go through roadmap items. This is why I'm here and what I care about right now. So I want to talk about this further with you guys. So let's probably jump into the next bit, Michelle, and then we can probably go into Q&A towards the end. Or
actually, if you don't mind, there were some questions that came up during your presentation. So if we could cover those really quick, and then we can go to the next piece. So does Navisworks and BIM 360 comments integration work in a specific version of Navisworks?
Comments integration?
Yeah, Nico, do you mind if I open your line so you can go into a little bit more in depth to what you were asking there, just so we make sure we answer the right question? Let me go find you in the participants panel. And so, Nico, I have unmuted your line. Are you able to talk to us?
Hi, this is Nico. Can you hear me guys clearly?
We can hear you. It's a little muffled.
Okay. Basically, the comment integration I was talking about is the one that he was presented. Comments from the model coordination space to Navisworks. Is there a specific version of Navisworks that works with that? Will Navisworks 2018, 2019 work with that?
Yeah, so really this integration is going to work best on 2021 and probably where we're going to restrict it at its first initial release. For comments, I'm not entirely, that shouldn't matter, but 2021 will be the preferred environment for this. 2022 update 2 will be available as well. We can follow up on that question a little bit later. I might not fully understand where you're coming at it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and let me go and mute that line back up just to make sure we don't have interference. Great, thanks, Nico. The next question, Vanitha is asking, do we get a free subscription if you have auto license and any tutorials for the Navisworks? And Vanitha, I'm not 100% sure if I'm understanding it. Are you asking about auto license software, or are you talking about the learning content? So I'm going to open up your line. Vanitha, are you able to talk with us?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I have AutoCAD license, official AutoCAD license. So we'll be able to work on AutoCAD Navisworks. We can subscribe to that part, or it is again additional?
It is a separate subscription from the AutoCAD license. That's correct.
Okay, so we'll not get free subscription for that.
You can download a free trial. So there is a 30-day trial if you want to give some of these workflows and just a test run, if you'd like to do that. The nice thing about Navisworks that I think is so beneficial for everyone that has it is you can combine models from all over the place. Let's say you have someone working in MicroStation, you can bring those DGN files over. If you've got someone that works in InfraWorks, you can bring an InfraWorks model in. Revit models, AutoCAD models, you can bring these models in from practically everywhere and pull it all together so that you can see the whole project as one piece, as one large model. And Navisworks handles those large models because it brings them across as a reference, but it allows you to do sectioning of those models, and it just manages those large files really well, and that way you can see everything all together.
Okay.
Do you work on large
one
models?
more question. Yeah, one more question. So do we have the tutorials for this?
Yes, actually, I'm gonna introduce you to what learning content we have. There are, of course, tutorials in the software itself where you can, go and learn through the help system. But we also have our connected learning modules that we'll be showing you a little bit that will help you with some of the troubleshooting as well.
Okay. Where will I find those links? Where will I find those?
I'm gonna show everyone that here in just a little bit, and I'll put a link out in the chat panel as well. So if you'll give me just a second, I'll come back to that. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you. Great question. Okay, so the next question is from Horatio about the integration between Navisworks and BIM 360. Right now, the connection is only with document management module. At some point, the integration will be possible with the design collaboration model. So I think he's asking, is it only with document management right now, or can that integration happen in the coordination model or the collaboration module as well?
Yeah, so a key part of that is project files versus plans folder, and part of that either is this week or next week, design collaboration and model coordination. So this is specifically model coordination is what we're bringing in, models that you've hosted to docs, and specifically within the plans folder in docs is where model coordination can host the models and determine the coordination spaces. Soon you can choose either project files or plans, which allows design collaboration to speak model coordination. So long story, yes, you can use both. So if you have models that you're uploading to project files to use design collaboration workflows, you can bring those models within Navisworks as well. So yes.
Great, excellent. And Brett is asking, is this Navisworks BIM 360 app only work with the BIM 360 coordination, formerly Glue?
It works with both. So Glue is still enabled. Glue is still a workflow that's within Navisworks and not going away. Actually, the BIM 360 coordinate package, you get both Glue as well as model coordination. But this is Navisworks specifically working with model coordination is really what you're looking at. When we're pulling out a coordination space in the models and the views, these are specific things that are within that model coordination folder. So within model coordination, I would expect to see these 4 models within this coordination space. So, and we can get into folders and we can get into some of these workflows if these are some of the questions people have. But this is specifically model coordination. As his question was asking, are these design collaboration models? They can be if they're hosted to project files. So we'll jump into it. Actually, we have plenty of time.
Okay. All right. Great. And another question came in, is there a way to create an issue that can include multiple clash detection results? For example, a group of clashes?
Yes. So that is within model coordination. You can determine create an issue for an entire group. We can cover that workflow maybe separate or offline.
Okay. And a follow-up question to that is, in the clash report, in the assign to column, is there a way to select an actual member of the team and that person to see the clash, see that the clash was attributed to them in BIM 360?
Yes, and there's some other updates coming that are actually auto assign that. So it's actually taking it a step further where it's automatically assigning it to the correct party.
Great. All right, and Oscar is asking, in BIM 360 issues are only available into Navisworks. Will it be into AutoCAD and Revit?
You ask a great question. Revit, the work is underway currently. So I don't have release dates, but we are currently starting some beta testing with some customers currently.
Great.
The AutoCAD side, we do absolutely have plans to bring BIM 360 issues into that environment as well.
Okay. Excellent. And Mohit asks, does I'm not familiar with this. STAAD Pro V8i also support in Navisworks?
Might be a.
He spelled it out, STAAD PROV8i, as in the number 8.
I'm not familiar with it. I'd have to do some research.
Mohit, we'll look into that and see if it is actually supported in Navisworks for you. Okay, and Oscar asked the question, can I use the Issues app in Navisworks using BIM 360 Design License?
Design license. So I don't want to answer the question incorrectly. I'm a developer.
We'll look into that, Oscar, and try to.
Yeah, I want to say yes, but because issues are part of every product and part of many different workflows. And this issues plugin, you just download off the App Store. It's a free download. I just don't want to answer that incorrectly.
Okay. And Brett asked the question, but does it work with BIM 360 document management module? So
absolutely, right. Everything is essentially utilizes docs as its backbone. Okay. Whether we're model coordination or design collaboration, I think that's where some of the distinction and the confusion does come into play. with project files and plans, there's kind of a separation. There is no separation here very soon. Project files can be the intermediary folder within docs for both design or model coordination. But regardless, yeah, docs is our common data environment.
Okay, great. Another question came in. How could you see these issues in Revit? Will there be a tool available for Revit or a switchback feature?
There will be a tool. That is correct.
Okay.
I mean, essentially, there'll be a plugin that will be very similar to what you're looking at here.
Okay, great. And last question I see, does eTabs/SAP software is attached suited to BIM software?
eTab? Was that the?
Yeah, so ETABS/SAP.
eTabs for, might need some more information on that one.
Okay, great. So Natish will go ahead and get back with you on that. And I did see some hands raised, so let me go look for those again.
And you know, definitely if there's some workflows people want to dig into deeper, the time is now. Let's absolutely want to answer these questions. So.
Okay. And Roshan, I see your hand is raised, so I'm going to unmute you. Are you able to speak with us? Looks like maybe not. Okay. Okay. I do see another question that came in. Oh, okay. So this is a follow-up to Natisha's question about the eTabs/SAP software. Okay. They're saying it's a design and analysis software. So I think we'll have to do a little research before we can still answer that. So apologize, Natish.
Yeah, and actually another way to look at it too is see if they have an integration with Navisworks too. I'm just not aware of that company.
All right, great. So I'm going to go ahead and take back the sharing rights, if that's okay. And I'm going to show everyone to come back to one of the questions about, you know, what learning content is available, and just share with you what we have. So let me move this around a little bit. Perfect. And okay. All right, so we do have our connected learning experience inside of our Customer Success Learning Hub, and it has a number of different courses specific to BIM managers. Specific learning paths that are available for BIM managers is, you know, a little bit about the BIM Execution Plan, and we have a new course that is going in there very soon. The existing conditions modeling, what the BIM manager is doing inside of that, coordination and work sharing, conceptual design, analysis, and communicating the design intent. Now, those are very broad categories, so why don't we take a little bit of a deeper dive into that? So let me bring up our hub itself and show you what we have in there. All right. This is what the Customer Success Learning Hub looks like when you go to autodesk.com/connected-learning. And you can see we have learning content for architects, civil engineers, BIM managers, mechanical engineers, MEP engineers, and structural engineers. So now this mechanical engineers, that is more for manufacturing, but the others are all in the building industry. So, you know, if you wanted to look at this, we've tried to make this feel like it's a connected project, and that's why we've called it connected learning. Whatever the architect is doing during existing conditions, you can see what the civil engineer might be doing during existing conditions, and as well as the BIM manager. So we've tried to line things up. It's all using the same project file so that you have that opportunity to see what it feels like when you have Revit files and Civil 3D files and InfraWorks files and so forth. So if I go into the BIM management area, you can see again those learning paths that I showed you on the slide. But even more importantly, let's take a closer look at these. So during the existing conditions modeling, you may want to, reduce some errors using InfraWorks to look at point clouds. So basically, bring that point cloud into InfraWorks and then be able to do some initial drawing of those existing conditions right there in InfraWorks. Coming back, you can go into coordination and work sharing, and this is where you really get into things. So you can learn how to aggregate the data into a single Navisworks model. And this takes you a little bit beyond fundamentals. I mean, they're inside of the Navisworks software. There are some tutorials to get you introduced to how to work inside of the software. But this aggregate data in a single Navisworks model actually takes you through bringing in that Civil 3D file and bringing in the Revit file and a few other files. And it talks about what to do when the coordinates don't line up, because typically a Revit model will use a coordinate system that starts at 0, 0, whereas a civil engineer is using real world coordinates, real northern and eastern coordinates. And how do you get those two to line up? And so we talk about, how to actually set the Revit model coordinates, and we talk a little bit about how to transpose that model and make adjustments. Sometimes someone's working in metric units and your contractor or somebody else might be working in imperial units. We talk about how to adjust those units and show everything so it comes together perfectly. We also have a little bit about working in the cloud with the BIM 360 and bringing Civil 3D and Revit models together for better collaboration inside of InfraWorks. So those are just some of the courses that we have available there. And if we go and look at conceptual design, this one allows you to learn how to mark up models inside of Navisworks. And going into the analysis, you'll be able to learn how to reduce rework and project costs by doing some effective clash coordination inside of Navisworks. And then we get into communicating the design intent, where you can use the timeliner to actually show what that construction progress might look like according to the project timeline. So those are just some of the things that we have. What I'd love to do is get an idea from you, what exactly do you need to learn to be able to do your job better? And so I'm going to turn it over to Robert. Actually, let me put a link into the chat panel really quick, and I'm going to show a slide just in case someone can't find their chat panel. So this is the link where you want to go. It's autode.sk/3C8RYS5. And again, we'll put that link in the chat panel so that you can just click on it. But for those of you that can't find that, it's there on the slide. But this is going to allow us to find out, are you consolidating large models? What kind of learning content do you need to learn how to do that? Reviewing models, clash detection, animating your construction. What do you need to learn? So let me jump over. And oh, that's right, it's over here. Okay. Okay, so I see a few of you have already found your way in there. That's wonderful. And apologize for the delay in getting this.
I have just posted the link in the chat panel.
Awesome, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Robert because he is our Luma expert on running these little sessions. And he's going to help you understand how to use that board and be able to provide your feedback. What do you need?
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. You still have Slack on top of your share, by the way.
Oh, God.
I'm actually not going to share my screen because it's I found that it's distracting when using Mural to see the same app on somebody else's screen. So I do advise all of you that want to participate to click the link in the chat or just type it in from this slide. What's shown here on the slide is what you will see in the Mural platform. On the left, we would like you to use those categories to basically write any skills that you think you and your company might need more training on, anything that is high priority to you right now in those areas. You can either, we've prepared a few of those sticky notes there, virtual sticky notes. You can either just click into one of those yellow notes and start typing. If you want to create a new one, just double click anywhere in that area and you can create a new one and type into it. You can move around by just clicking on any white area of the Mural, and you can just drag it, and you can use your mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and out if you want to be see things better. Once you've entered your ideas in the categories on the left, what we'd like you to do is try to prioritize those in the bullseye on the right. And the way we were thinking that this could be useful to you is in the center circle, if you could move those capabilities or those skills that are really critical for you or your company to learn within the next, let's say, 6 months, and then the second circle around it within the next year, and then the wider circle as you know, further in the future. This will help us figure out what's the most important to you right now, and it's going to really help us prioritize the kind of learning content that we will post on the Customer Success Learning Hub in the future.
Great.
So I see already people are already starting to add ideas and move them around. I love that. Yeah,
great. And if you have questions while we're going through this, definitely feel free to post those in the question panel. We'll try to answer those in the background so that you can still get those questions answered and run through this exercise at the same time.
It's really good. I see quite a lot of people. We have 18 people participating. This is it's really good, and I see a lot of ideas coming up.
I see, Horatio, you'd asked, is it possible to develop a module for BIM 360? We have started to develop some learning content for BIM 360, and so I can send you a link to some of that. And Zach, Nico is asking the question, I like the idea of exporting comments from BIM 360 to Navisworks, but will it work backwards? Comments from Navisworks to BIM 360.
Yeah, and are we talking about comments within an issue, or are we just talking about actual Navisworks comments?
That is a good question. Nico, maybe I'll try to find you in the panel and see if we can unmute you. Oh, there it is. There you are. Okay, Nico, your line is unmuted. Do you mind going a little bit further? Or actually, did I do the right one?
Hi there. I'm not sure if you can hear me, guys.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. So basically, my question was if I was to comment on BIM 360 model coordination space. I see the clashes there, and then I export it to Navisworks. Say in Navisworks, I answered that clash report that, okay, I'll incorporate this. Probably some of it I won't incorporate. This is the reason, blah, blah, blah. Will I be able to import that back into BIM 360, where probably my engineer won't have a Navisworks software or Navisworks module?
Yes,
He's probably
yeah,
just looking
exactly.
at it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, so it has to be both ways, absolutely.
And then if there's like any other say comments that I added into the Navisworks model, say I noticed that it's not a clash detection issue. It's probably something that I need to coordinate with someone. If I commented on Navisworks, will I be able to again send that into the BIM 360 issues log?
Yeah, and are you talking specifically comments within an issue?
I'm talking about newly created issues, I guess, on Navisworks.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
I mean,
you.
and that's there's a bunch of different ways, I guess, we kind of fill that need. There's different types of issues. There's several different types. They don't have to necessarily always be a coordination or clash type. You can also add comments and your own description and your own information inside of an issue. There's an activity field where you can actually add comments and do @ and mention people and say, hey, you can do an @ Zach and say, you know, add a comment, and those pull through to BIM 360 as well. So quite a few different ways. But same thing if you're changing any properties of an issue, those will flow through as well. If they're related to a clash and you're determining those in model coordination, those will stay assigned to those same users, and you can also change the user as well. It's very flexible, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, the current issues, yeah, you can currently do back and forth commenting or any type of information back and forth between Navisworks and BIM 360.
Okay. And Robert, how are we doing on the mural? Is it looking pretty good?
It's looking very good. I see a lot of interaction. I see a lot of feedback. I already start to see similar thoughts from people. So that's the next step that we're going to do after this meeting is to group those. We call it affinity clustering. So we're going to group similar or identical needs and thoughts into a category, and then we'll use those to prioritize you know, our content roadmap for the future. But I really love the level of interaction I see here.
That's great.
And for those of you that you know, either didn't want to participate in this right now, or you know, you want to see what's out there on the Learning Hub first, we do have 2 ways that you can give us feedback on the Learning Hub. So there's a persistent feedback button that hovers to the right of the website pretty much at all times, and you can open it on any page and send us any feedback you want. As well as if you go through a course, after you've completed the course, there is a survey. So you can click a link and then give us feedback on the course itself, and also tell us what else you would like to learn. So as you go through the hub, as you consume the content, if you find anything that should be better or anything that's missing that you would really love to learn, write us, and we receive those directly by email. So we look at them pretty immediately. And if you leave us your email address, we can actually contact you back for more discussion around that.
Yeah, which is also very helpful if you do leave that, because sometimes you'll be on a page and give a little feedback on it, and we don't know exactly what page you were on. And so it's nice to be able to reach out and say, hey, you know, where was this coming from, so that we can understand, you know, put it into perspective and make sure we fix the right thing. Okay, well, we are at 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Why don't we just briefly go through some of what you've put in the mural? And so let me zoom in on this. So I do see some animate construction. Excellent. And I would love to, know how deep of animation are you hoping to do? Are you hoping to animate some of the equipment on the site or just the project schedule itself? Because in the course that we have in our connected learning experience, it does animate just the construction progress for the project. So the schedule taken from the Gantt chart from the project schedule. And but if you'd like to add more animation to that, you can add in your equipment and show, some staging of the different pieces of equipment to make sure you have enough room on site to make things happen at the same time. So that might be something that we go a little bit more in depth into. I see 4D clashes. So a little bit of that animation with clash detection. That's a great option to add. And reviewing models. We do have a little bit on the reviewing models, but I think, we can definitely add more there. Let's see. Consolidating large models, great. And the BIM 360 glue module process. Okay, that's something to consider. A lot of things inside of that little inside circle. You need things quick, right? I get it. You need to learn what you need to know right when you need to know it. I get that. ODBC data connection, okay. I'm just going to move one of these so I can read it. Okay, so animating construction with newer versions of Primavera. That's good to know. And automatically clash detection. More clash detection. Okay, great. Excellent. All right, well, let me look back at the questions and see if we've got any that we haven't addressed. Okay, so Dr. BIMologist is saying he'd like some workflow-based instead of tool-based. Excellent. That is actually the direction we are trying to take these within a learning path. So, it's hard to, the big thing about the connected learning is it's really supposed to be bite-sized. So you can go in there every day, maybe it's on a lunch break, maybe it's just on a, just a midday break or something. In 15 to 20 minutes, learn a process and or do a little bit of learning. And within the learning path, you might have 2, 3, maybe 4 courses, but at least you can go in and learn the first piece of the learning path on one day, go into the next piece, and within that learning path, it would be an entire workflow. That is our goal. Okay, excellent. Oh, okay, so Natisha is asking, can we get a participation certificate for attending today's webinar? We don't have a certificate to provide for this. However, if, let me look into that and see what we can do for you. I'm guessing you need some credits for your certifications or your license. So Nico, let me look into that. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Natisha saying that. Sorry. Oh, and thank you, Nico, for saying that this was very informative. Awesome. I love to hear it. All right, we'll leave that mural open for a little bit. If you'd like to continue to add your comments and things, for now, we are going to close out the webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and especially, Robert and, oh my gosh, why am I having a hard time today? Robert and Zach, thank you both for joining and helping pull this together and making it much more interactive. So thank you for your presentations.
My pleasure, and thank you for everyone for contributing so many ideas. This is really helpful.
Exactly. All right, well, everyone have a wonderful day. Again, we'll leave that mural open if you want to keep contributing. And any of those questions we didn't get to, we will look at offline, because some of them we had to do a little research on. So thanks again, and you have a great day.
Just a final note, Misha.
Yeah.
Just a final note that you will receive an email in about 24 hours from GoToWebinar with a link to the recording in case you want to watch any of this or share it with your colleagues or anybody else who might be interested.
Excellent. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.